Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jesse Bose from the 19th hole, and I've got the rookie guide video here for you all today. This is going to be for the upcoming Skyline Cup Tournament, and this is a tournament of holes that we've all played before. So when you start seeing these holes, they may come back to your memory, and then you may say, "Oh yeah, I know how to play these holes." But we always get new players in the game, or someone that maybe have only played these holes like one time. So it's always good to have a little bit of a refresher for yourself before you do dive into the tournament play. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about holes 1 through 9. We'll talk about the different ways to play them, different shot selections, ball suggestions, club selection, club suggestions, and stuff like that. Also, any kind of elevation changes. This will not be a tournament with very many huge elevation changes, so that's kind of a different thing than we've been dealing with the past few tournaments. But there are definitely some elevation changes in this tournament. And if you don't have the correct elevation change, it could definitely cost you a stroke here and there on the course. So it's definitely good to have those correct numbers on hand when you start to play your qualification round starting on Monday, which is Memorial Day. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to start here with hole number 1, and it's a par 4. So let's get right in here. All right, hole number 1, and it's a par 4. So here in the rookie division, we're going to be playing this one with a plus 10% elevation change to start out with. And if you don't know what elevation change is, when I say plus 10%, that means your shot's going to be going downhill. Sometimes we add extra elevation change when you go over water as well, for kind of like the wind effect. And if you take a shot uphill, then we actually subtract. So it's a minus 10 instead of plus 10. And all that means is addition and subtraction from your wind numbers. So if we're playing a shot with a plus 10, that means we're just going to add an extra 10% to whatever wind that we have for our shot. If you do a minus 5 or a minus 10%, then you just subtract that minus 10% from whatever kind of a wind that you have. So just an example, if we have a 5 mile per hour wind and we're playing a plus 10%, you're just going to add an extra 10% of 5, which would be 0.5. So instead of playing your wind at what it shows on the screen at 5 miles an hour, you're going to play it at 5.5 miles per hour, and that is taking into account that extra 10% of elevation change. And if you have minus 10%, then you just subtract that 0.5, so you would play your shot at 4.5. Okay, so hole number 1 here, this is a par 4. I would definitely suggest going with at least a quasar ball here for this hole. The side spin is definitely nice depending on what you want to try to do. As you all saw in my my tutorial video of this hole, if we have a good wind, like a left to right tailwind or something like that, you can play a big topper shot where you curl it over here and use all that full topspin of that big topper and bounce it over the water to roll it out to this zone right here. From there, you have a short thorn shot to the hole. Definitely a very makeable chance right there, but that is only if we have a good tailwind. And I think I'd use the Big Topper 2 in my tutorial video, so that is definitely an option right there. Now, that's a little bit more of an advanced level shot. If you're not comfortable in the rookie, then I would definitely not recommend taking that shot. But that can put you in position to pick up that extra stroke on this hole, which could definitely be vital down the road. If you're not going to play that way, you're just going to play safe to the right side here. You'll bounce it somewhere in this area right around this shadow, or even maybe a little bit before the shadow. But basically you just want to end up somewhere around these two shadows, somewhere around those two shadows. You do want to make sure you don't go too far, because you don't want to go into the rough line right here, because that would definitely not be good. Although I believe you could probably still reach the green from up there in that rough, it's just definitely does not increase your chances of having an eagle chance here on this hole, because this is a par 4, so any kind of an eagle would be definitely a really good shot and a huge pickup. So for your second shot, you're going to probably be using, I would probably go with the backbone. I know in the higher levels we use a Goliath, but I think lower levels, like the rookie, usually everybody does not have the Goliath upgraded enough, so I would definitely go with the backbone. It gives you a little bit more accuracy, and you're going to be trying to shoot your shot for somewhere right in this zone right here. You're also not going to have the same type of ball guide in the rookie level, so basically you're just going to have the tip of your ball guide right over the edge of that fringe on the green, headed towards the hole, and you're going to play your shot that way, kind of under those trees. So you'll use your spin, accordingly to however you need to use the spin, and that will kind of depend on what kind of a wind we have. We have a headwind, do we have a tailwind, do we have a side wind? But the tip of that ball guide should be right there, just into the edge of the green, and you're just going to hopefully get that ball to roll onto the green. There is sort of a slope there on the back edge of that green that will help your shot roll back down towards the hole if you go a little bit too far past. So it's definitely kind of a forgiving shot right there. If you don't make the shot, you still should be okay for the easy birdie putt. So, all right, that is hole number 1. So next up we got hole number 2, and this is a par 3. One other thing on hole number 1, the second shot, you can apply it with a plus 10%. So just remember that it's a plus 10% for that second shot on the right-hand side. If you're playing the big topper shot from the left-hand side and you are able to get over there in short iron distance, then I would not really worry about it. I would just play that one straight up. But if you're playing that shot from the right side with the backbone, play it at a plus 10% for the second shot. So plus 10 on the drive, plus 10 on the second shot. So for hole number 2, we're going to start off. We're going to play a plus 10% on the drive for this par 3. I would also recommend the backbone again for this par 3. Ball selection, that's really kind of up to you and may depend on what kind of a wind we have. If we have some sort of a headwind, then you may need to go with a little bit higher level power ball if you're going with the backbone. But if you have a tailwind or side wind, quasar will probably be okay. But if you do find yourself lacking that distance, you may need to bump it up to like a katana ball. Basically what we're doing is we're just aiming for this little sun area right here in between the two shadows. I like to play about 3 bars of backspin, 2 bars of right spin, and just aim that shot towards the hole and then kind of offset it just a tiny bit depending on what kind of a wind we have. So if we have a left to right wind, we're going to offset that shot just a little bit to the left of the hole and really play that hole. It's a pretty high bounce you're going to take because the green is quite elevated for the shot, but it's definitely a very aceable hole in the rookie. Higher you go, the much more difficult this hole does get. So definitely keep that in mind. If you have tailwind, you want to use a little bit more backspin. If you have a headwind, use a little bit less backspin. So you always want to keep in mind about those extended ball guides as well, so compression and stuff like that. Okay, so that is hole number 2. If you do have like some sort of like pretty decent right to left wind, you definitely may want to think about adding a little bit of curl to this shot. If you have a right to left wind, you add the curl. If you have a left to right wind, then you're just going to play more of the the wind effect. When you adjust for your wind. So, but yeah, if you do have right to left wind, you may want to use a little bit of right curl on the shot. All right, hole number 3. And this is our first par 5. So on the tee box, we're not going to play any kind of extra adjustment for the elevation. We're just going to play a 0% here. And you have 2 different options here. You can play a straight shot where you're going up the left-hand side. Oops, not a very good line right there. Straight shot up the left-hand side. You're going to bounce it right here in front of that rough line, and then bounce over and try to roll it out to this zone right here. To play that shot, you're going to probably be playing it with a Titan ball, and I would definitely say going with the extra mile in the rookies for sure on that shot. And it's not too bad in the rookies. Playing up in the front tees, it's a pretty easy shot to make from there. Your second shot will be played with most likely a big dog, I would say, for the rookies. You'll be bouncing it somewhere right here in this area. You'll be using top spin, left spin, probably about 4 bars of each top spin and left spin to bounce the shot over this rough line. You'll bounce on the fairway here and try to roll it up to the hole, and hopefully get you a good lucky roll for that albatross. Definitely a shot that could drop for you during the tournament, but it's not going to be one of those shots that you completely dial in. There's definitely going to be a tad bit of luck involved in getting that shot to drop for the albatross. There is one other shot that is definitely available for this hole, is playing it to the right side. You know, you'd be playing your shot with more like a quarterback here, and it would be more of a curl shot. You use top spin and right spin to bounce it over here, and then roll it up this way here. And the only advantage to this shot here is it gives you a much straighter on shot towards the green. You know, it's much more straight of a look at the hole, which, you know, sometimes, you know, shots that don't require use of a lot of side spin can be a little bit more accurate and easier to kind of dial in for that albatross chance. But yeah, it's definitely a possibility there. I would definitely make sure that you have a ball with side spin. I would probably use a Titan in both cases, whether you go left or if you go right. You know, I don't think you can go wrong with that. But yeah, you definitely, you know, playing that shot to the left side, you probably want at least 4 bars of topspin. And then to the right side, you know, from the rookie tee, I would definitely say you'll probably be okay with the type of wind that we have to use, about 4 topspin and the right spin as well. You just want to kind of aim that shot down the you know, middle of that right fairway as best as possible. So you just kind of eye that shot up, you know, and kind of just, you know, visualize the shot. It's definitely a little bit tougher than playing to the left side, but you got to keep in mind, if you do make a shot to the left side and you end up over here in this bunker or in the rough, you're definitely going to be in trouble. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Also, you know, I would not, you know, advise using too high of a power ball. Too much topspin, you could end up through the fairway and in the rough there as well, which would definitely not be good. That would definitely hurt your chances of getting that eagle on this hole. So for your second shot, you're going to play a plus 10%. And I would play that plus 10% no matter which way you play it, from the left side or the right side. So add that additional plus 10% for each of those shots on this hole. All right, we got hole number 4 next. Par 3. And this one right here, I would go with either a quasar or a katana ball. If you're going to play the shot where you're bouncing it in this area right here, I would definitely just go with the quasar most likely. The way I would play that shot is with either a backbone or the Goliath, and you'll jump that shot over, and you're going to play with somewhere about 2 bars of backspin, I would say, and you're going to use as much right spin as you can get here for the shot. So you're going to bounce the shot over, you're going to bounce here, and then you're going to hopefully roll towards the pin. If you don't find yourself with enough right spin to kind of direct that ball guide towards the pin, then you could also add a little bit of right curl as well for that shot. And then also, depending on what kind of a wind we have, you know, you may want to add extra curl depending on what kind of wind we have as well. I've also seen people playing rough bump shots from right here. You know, if you have a club that has a good amount of topspin, you could definitely try a rough bump shot from right there as well. That's definitely a possibility. Or even a rough bump shot for right in this zone right here. That would definitely be a possibility as well. In that case, if you're playing the left side rough bump, I would probably think about going with the katana ball for that extra right side spin. But those are definitely all ways you can play this hole. You can even play a long iron shot, you know, from back in here as well, you know, towards the green. So tons of different approaches that you can play on this hole, and it really kind of boils down to what way do you most like, and you know, also what is best case scenario for whatever kind of a wind that we do see on Monday. You also play this one at plus 10%. I'm pretty sure it's plus 10%. Let me check here, double check. Yeah, plus 10%. This is a plus 10%. Had it written down on this set of notes, but not on my other set of notes. So yeah, plus 10% for this hole as well. Alright, so hole number 5 is next. And this is a par 4. This is another one of those par 4s that are definitely eagleable, but not a gimme eagle. So, you know, we're going to have, you know, one of those tournaments where if you can get the drop on the par 4, you're definitely going to be pretty far ahead of the game here, I would say. Plus 10% on the drive, and also plus 10% on the second shot. Okay, so second shot plus 10%, tee shot plus 10%, just so you all don't forget. For this hole right here, going with the extra mile, you want to go with a ball that has some side spin to it. So at least the Quasar ball would definitely be sufficient. If you want to go with the Titan or Katana ball, that is okay as well. But the Quasar will definitely get the job done here. You're jumping off this pad with top spin and left spin, hopefully bouncing and then rolling your shot up this fairway here. If you do have a higher level extra mile, you could definitely possibly fly over that pad straight to that next fairway, in which case you will definitely want to be a little bit more hesitant on using full topspin. So definitely, play that shot at your own discretion, and also, make sure that you do kind of figure out those spins for that shot if you do want to play that shot over the the island landing pad and straight to the fairway. It's definitely a possible situation, especially if you have a little bit higher level rookie clubs. But the shot here, where you're going over to the island here and bouncing over, that's going to leave you a shot with the thorn, most likely. And you have different options here. If you're far enough up the fairway, you definitely have that option to try for the dunk with the thorn. You can also land that shot short before the green with some backspin and try to roll it in that way. Or you could also use the back of this green as kind of a filter back down to the hole. There is a decent sized hill on the back of this green, so it's definitely possible to use some backspin, put your shot up there to the back of the green and let it roll back down to the hole for the possible eagle that way. So I would definitely say there are 3 different ways to try to get the eagle on this hole: the dunk, the shot off the front edge of the green, or using the back of the green to roll it back. I would say if you're going to play your shot off the front edge of the green, you're going to probably want to play it a little bit farther back in the fairway where you bounce it. And you're also going to want a ball with a good amount of side spin, because you don't want to get too close to that right-sided bunker on your landing position, because you don't ever want to be a great right away from being in the bunker. So I think that's all I had to say on this hole here. Yep, that was it. Okay. So our next hole here is going to be hole number 6. And this is a par 5. This is a hole that we've seen in tournaments many times. So those of you that have seen this hole before definitely have a leg up on those that haven't played it as much. This hole right here, I would definitely play with extra mile would be good for this one in the rookie. You're looking at your landing zone somewhere right in this zone right here. You're going to use top spin and right spin for this shot. I like to go with about 3.5 bars of top spin for the shot and a full right spin. I would definitely go with the Titan ball in this hole. But really just depend on what kind of ball supply you do have. You could probably get away with a Quasar or a Titan, a Quasar or a Katana though as well, if you have that. You can play a plus 5% elevation change for the drive, but it's not totally necessary in my opinion. But if you do want to play an elevation change, it's somewhere about plus 5%. So with the top spin and right spin, you're bouncing it over the edge of that rough line right there, and you're rolling it down the fairway to that zone right there. Like I said, I like 3.5 bars of top spin, full right spin. But some people may use different top spin numbers as well, and it's really just whatever gets the job done and works for you. But those are the numbers that I've always used on this hole and never had issues. If you are playing, with a really good amount of tailwind, then you may want to back off that topspin just a little bit, maybe. But if you're having more of a side wind or headwind, you definitely want to use that higher echelon of the topspin for that hole. The other way you can play this hole is down the left-hand side. Not how I would recommend, but definitely another possible way to play it. You try to get yourself as far up that fairway as possible, and I'm going to show you in 1 second why I don't believe playing to the left is very useful here. So for your second shot here, we're going to play a minus 10% play on the elevation because it is kind of an uphill. We will be aiming for this little pad right here, and from that pad we will jump over the sand, land it right there on the edge of the rough, the edge of the fairway slash fringe, and try to roll it into the hole. Now the best way to play that shot, the safest way to play that shot, is with the big dog. If you can comfortably get yourself far enough up that right fairway, then you can play that shot with the Viper, or even a sniper if you have that leveled up enough. I would say at least 170 yard sniper to be safe. But you can use the Viper if you're far enough up that fairway. But the safest way to play it is just to go it with the big dog. And the way you're going to play that here is about 3 to 4 bars of backspin. Again, it depends on what kind of a wind you have for the second shot. Of course, you know, more tailwind, more backspin, side wind, a little bit less backspin, headwind, a lot less backspin. Okay, so just remember that. But yeah, somewhere about 3 to 4 backspin on that shot, depending on the kind of wind that you get. And I would say with a tailwind, yeah, definitely want a little bit more backspin with the tailwind for sure. All right, so let's see, what else do we have to tell you about this hole? I believe that's it. Oh, if you're gonna play the shot from the left-hand side, you're gonna probably need to play your shot just up the left here, to the left side of the rough here, and just trying to get your shot somewhere in that zone right there for a short chip to the hole. You could possibly try to go to the island here with backspin and left spin, but it's definitely going to be a tough shot, and it's going to require some left curl as well, and you definitely got to have the big dog for that shot. As far as trying to jump over the sand bunker, you know, I don't know how safe of a shot that really is. I've tried it a few different times. I've had a little bit of success with it, but it's definitely a much more dangerous approach to the hole. You know, I believe if you're playing this hole seriously, trying to win a tournament, you've really just got to play the shot to the right side off the tee box, and that's going to give you the best chance at the albatross. And that's just, you know, anytime you get an albatross, that's just an extra stroke to get. So definitely, I would definitely try to go that route. But if you're going to play it to the left, I would probably play it the top left route, where you play it for the safe chip down to the hole. All right, hole number 7 is next. Par 3. This is a hole where several different ways to play it again. You know, I like to play this one with the Saturn, and I like to play the shot to this right side. You know, I like to bounce it right in here, up there along the ridge, and then let it roll back down to the hole. That's the way I played it in my video, and I believe, you know, that's one of the best ways to play this hole for the ace. I've gotten many aces playing it that way. You can play a straight shot towards the hole as well, where you bounce off this area right here towards the hole with backspin. That's definitely another possible way. You know, and then some people play their shots off this area right here. I would say that's more of a higher level pro expert way to play the hole, and I would definitely stick with one of those 2 other ways in the rookie, so either middle or the right side. If you're going to play the right side shot, you definitely want to take a ball with some left side spin, so at least a quasar, and you use pretty much full backspin, full left spin, and you just want to kind of aim that shot with the ball guide trail, landing up on that right ridge and pointing back down to the hole, and just try to line that direction of your ball guide up as best as possible to the hole from that ridge. So if you're playing in the middle, you're just trying to use backspin, trying to stop that shot right at the hole and let it fall in the hole. So you're just basically aiming that one at the pin. So, all right. Plus 10% also, didn't remember that. Plus 10% for this shot. Hole 8 here. This may be the toughest hole on the course. A lot of people are probably going to be getting well, not a lot of people. There'll probably be some people getting pars here. Par 4, not a lot of people getting eagle here. Not a lot of people getting the eagle here. The way you're going to play this shot here is you're going to try to land it here with the extra mile. You're going to use top spin and left spin to bounce there, and then roll your shot up into this zone right here. You do use the left spin because the fairway does slope from the right to the left. I mean, from the left to the right. So you got to use that left spin to counteract that slope. So just keep that in mind. For the rookie, you know, you can also try to play a power curl shot. You land your shot somewhere right in there, and then trying to roll it out in the same manner as you play the straight shot. In the rookie, I don't really know that I'd even look into the power curl shot. I think just playing the straightaway approach is easier in the rookie. Playing it from the first tee is not quite as difficult of a shot to pinpoint as it may be for a little bit higher level tours. You have no problem at all landing that shot into this zone right here, playing from that first tee. So I would definitely probably just stay with that straight on shot, not even worry about the power curl shot on this hole. But it is there if you want to play it or try it out. So, at least 4 bars of topspin for that shot on the drive. Setting yourself up for a second shot here. I would say you want to use probably your big dog here. You're going to use anywhere from about 1 to 2 bars of topspin to bounce it over this sand and rough. What you want to do is you want that second hop to hit right there about midway up that slope. There's a slope, you got the green, and you've got a slope down to that sand bunker. And then on the other side of the sand bunker you have that fairway. So there is a slope down on that little fairway section below the green. You want your ball to hit about midway up that slope with about 1 to 2 bars of topspin and give yourself a good chance to roll it up to the hole. Possible chance of the eagle. Most likely everybody's going to be getting the birdie here though in the rookie, I would guess. Some people that may have higher level clubs and can get the shot a little bit farther down the fairway on the tee shot and could definitely go at that shot with a Viper or a Sniper, definitely would have the advantage here on this hole to try to pick up that stroke. But for most rookies, you want to play it with the big dog. You do want to guarantee yourself to have a chance at that second shot of getting it onto the green. And second shot, probably play that with, so we say plus 10% on the tee shot. And I don't know. The second shot, still seems a little bit downhill, but then you got to remember that your shot goes downhill, but then the fairway does kind of slope back up. So all in all, in the end, you're probably not really changing your elevation too much on that shot. So I would probably just stick with 0%. I wouldn't play any kind of an elevation change for that second shot. But if you do feel like you are getting some sort of an effect for that elevation, then you could possibly go 5-10% though. Additional elevation change. Only you though, or once you play the shot and look at your landing zone, you can tell pretty quickly if you're missing that 10% or not. All right, last and final hole, hole number 9, par 5. No, not hole 5, hole 9. There we go. Par 5. You can play this shot with the extra mile. You can play it with the big topper. Your landing zone for the rookie is going to be right here. Trying to land it to that area and then roll it out as far as you can into that fairway. You do want to play a pretty decent amount of elevation change here. I would say anywhere from plus 20 to 25% for this tee shot. It's a decent elevation change for this shot. I would definitely go with a Titan ball here. If you have a little bit higher level rookie clubs in the extra mile department, or even the big topper, you could definitely try to go for a berserker here. This would definitely be the hole to try a berserker shot or extra mile shot. The big topper definitely gives you all that nice top spin, so it gives you a good chance to roll that shot out pretty good. If you do want to try that, that's definitely an option. Or if you have like extra mile 6, extra mile 7 for some reason in the rookie, you could definitely fly over that sand to the next landing point, and then really get yourself pretty far up the fairway, definitely. For your second club here, I would recommend for the masses that you bring your big dog for sure, and that's why I like the Titan ball. Is for your second shot, you want to land it somewhere in this zone right here, and you want to use some top spin and right spin to bounce it over the rough here, land it on the fairway, and then roll down to the hole for the shot. Hopefully you can maybe get the roll in for the albatross, but I would not count on seeing a lot of albatrosses here in the rookie, but it's definitely a possibility. The farther you get up the fairway on the drive, the better chance you have. Especially if you do know that you have and you have a confidence that you can hit your drive pretty far up there, then you can start looking at other wood clubs like Vipers, Guardians, and stuff like that. But for the most part, I would definitely recommend probably just bringing the big dog, being safe, making sure you get the eagle here on this hole. It's definitely not a hole that you want to drop strokes on in this tournament. For the second shot, it's going to be slightly uphill, so I would definitely add a slight, elevation decrease for this one uphill, so you're actually going to take away from your wind. And I'd say somewhere in the neighborhood of -5 to 10 is going to be your elevation change for the second shot. And the iffiness of the -5 to 10 is because it just really depends on where you're going to land that shot. If you land it farther down the fairway, it's not as much, but if you land it farther up the fairway, then it is a little bit more extra than that -5. Alright, y'all, that's been the the rookie guide video here. Hopefully you all learned a little bit extra if you're new to the game, and this is the first time seeing this course. This definitely should help you out, at least give you kind of a roadmap as to what to expect when you do see these holes in the tournament. And I will be doing a rookie playthrough on Monday. It is Memorial Day, and I will be camping in the morning. I should be home in the afternoon sometime, so hopefully I will be able to get that out, but it may not be till a little bit later than Monday than it normally is. So, and that's going to be the same for my pro playthrough as well, just because of it being the holiday and being out doing stuff with the family. So, alright, y'all, take care. Hopefully you'll have a good day. Hopefully y'all have a good qualification starting on Monday, and I hope y'all get some practice in this weekend. Y'all take care. God bless.